Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper 2-3 of October-November 2020. It is the latest paper that we have for Add Math of this past year. Anyways, with that being said, let's move on to question number 1. So let's see, what do we have here? Here we have to solve modulus of 3x minus 2 equal to 4 plus x. Now, there's a few ways of solving this question. The first way is you can simply square both sides and then solve, or if you want to, you can just do that. You can write 3x minus 2 is equal to 4 plus x, or you can write 3x minus 2 is equal to minus 4 plus x. Okay, so now we have to solve for the x value. So we send x to one side. 3 minus 1, that will be 2x. That will be 6, x will be 3. And here we have to expand the brackets to see what happens. So that will be minus 4 minus x. Send this over here, you will have 4x, and that will be minus 2x will be minus 0.5. So you will have two values for x for your answer for question number 1. Now, question number 2, we have to solve the simultaneous equation, meaning we have to find the values of x and y for those two. Now, let me try to, you can choose, you can see whichever is convenient for you. Let me make this become subject. So I have 5, y is 4 minus 2x, y will be 4 minus 2x divided by 5. Now you see y here replace in this one. So you will have x squared plus 3x, y is 4 minus 2x over 5 equal to the value of 4. Now as you can see, we have a denominator of 2. We want to eliminate that value, so let's multiply by 5 everywhere. You will have 5x squared plus, so here 5 will cancel out. You will have 3x, 4 minus 2x equal to 20. Now simplify. 5x squared plus 12x minus 6x squared will be 20. Okay, now let's simplify. 5 minus 6 will be minus 1 plus 12x. Send this on this side will be minus 20. Now as you can see, we have the coefficient of x squared is minus 1. So let's send everything to the other side, or we can multiply everyone by minus 1. So it can become positive. That will be x squared minus 12x plus 20 is 0. Okay, so now we have a quadratic equation. We can factorize and find the values for x. So two brackets, because it is x squared, that will be x times x. 20 can be 2 times 10, so let me choose 2 times 10. 2 times 10, right? Now to get minus 12, we have to have minus 2 and minus 10. And minus times minus is plus, and here it is plus, so it is good. Now x is equal to 2, x is equal to 10. Now for this value of x, let's find the corresponding value of y. So y will be what? 4 minus 2 times 2 divided by 5, that will be 0. So for this one, we have x is 2 and y is 0. Now for this one, y will be 4 minus 2x will be 20 divided by 5, that will be minus 16 divided by 5. Now we can simplify. That will be minus 3.2 as the value. That will be x is 10 and y is minus 3.2. So that will be question number 2. Okay, so let's move on to question number 3. So here we have to find the values of k for which this equation has two distinct roots. So whenever you see this, you have to know we have to use b squared minus 4ac has to be more than 0, because it has two roots. Now, as you can see, this one is a quadratic equation. So the value here is 1, so that will be A. that's b, and that is c. So b squared will be k plus 9 square minus 4 times a times c has to be more than 0. Now we have to simplify, expand to see what happens. So we can use this trick. Look at this: k plus 9 square minus 36 more than 0. So now we can find the critical values. So we just have to change the sign. When you find the critical values, we can just change the sign. That will become k plus 9 square minus 36 become equal to 0 for critical values. Now we have to solve for the value of k. So k plus 9 square, that will be 36. So k plus 9 will be plus or minus 6. Now k can be 6 minus 9, which is minus 3, or k can be minus 6 minus 9, which is minus 15. So this will be the critical values, which is not your answer. Now for your answer, you have to go back to the graph. Now if you were to expand this, you will have k square. It will be positive something k square. Since it is positive, you will have a shape of this. Now the first point here will be minus 15, and that will be minus 3. As you can see here, we're looking for something which is more than 0. So this is 0. That will be more than 0, which is above and on this side and on this side. So k has to be less than minus 15. K has to be more than minus 3 for the values of k for which the curve has two distinct roots. Now let's move on to question part 4. Question 4. It is given that y equal to this equation between this domain. Now part A, we have to find dy by dx. So let's do this step by step. So dy by dx will be what? That will be 1 over the value inside will be 1 plus sine x, and multiply by d by dx of the value inside, that will be cos x. So it will be cos x over 1 plus sine x. That will be part A. Now let's move on to part B. We have to find the value of dy by dx when x equal to this, giving your answer in the form of this. Okay, pretty easy. So from part A, we realized that the value of dy by dx was cos x over 1 plus sine x. Now we have to replace the value in the equation to find the exact value. So, but first, if you guys know, what is that in degrees? This is radians. So it is 180 divided by 6. That will be 30 degrees. So let me try. So cos of 30 over 1 plus sine of 30. So usually we tend to know those exact angles. So so I know that sine of 30 should be half. I mean, personally, I would recommend memorizing the exact angles, but it depends on you. You don't need to memorize them. It is up to you. Sine of 30, that will be degrees, will be 0.5, which is half. Now, when it comes down to cos of 30, it is not exact, but it will be this value, but I know that, or it can be derived from the first one. You will see should be root 3 over 2. So let's check. As you can see, that is the exact values of those angles. So again, I would recommend you guys know those values for 30 degrees, for 45 sometimes, and 60. So for those three angles, I would recommend memorizing the sine, cos, and tan values for those angles. But yeah, you don't need to, but I would recommend so. Anyways, so this will be root 3 over 2 divided by 1 plus half. That will be root 3 over 2. So 1 plus half is what? So if you do 1 is 1 over 1 plus 1 over 2. if you make them become the same base, that'll be 2 over 3. So, sorry, 3 over 2. So 3 over 2. That will be root 3 over 2 multiplied by 2 over 3. Cancel, cancel. That will become root 3 over 3. But now you want to simplify this in this form, but you realize something. What is 3? 3 is root 3 times root 3. So that will become root 3 over root 3 multiplied by root 3. Cancel, cancel. You have 1 over root 3. Where a has to be 3 according to this, which is an integer. Anyways, that will be part B of the question. Now part C, we have to find the values of x for which this is tan. So what is dy by dx? As you have seen from part A, it is cos x over 1 plus sin x is equal to tan x. Now, you know tan x is what? Tan x is sin x over cos x. So that will be cos x over 1 plus sin x is sin x over cos x. So now we have to cross multiply. You will have cos square x is sin x plus sin square x. Now let's try to simplify to see what happens. So so I have this. Now let me try to change this to sine. So I know that from a formula sheet, it is given to you a formula that you can use, as you can see here. This one, right? You can use this one. So from this you can realize that cos square A is 1 minus sin square A. So let's replace this by this in the equation. So here you will have 1 minus sin square x is sin x plus sin square x. Let's send everything to one side. You will have 2 sin square x, right, plus sin x minus 1 is 0. Okay, now as you can see, this one is a quadratic equation because we have something square and something not square and a constant. Now we can factorize. That will be 2 sin x. 1 is 1 times 1. Now to get plus 1, we have to have plus 2, right? 2 times plus 1 is 2, and minus 1 to get plus 1. Now 2 sin x minus 1 is 0, or sin x plus 1 is 0. Now we have to solve for the values of x, so 1 by 1. So here, sin x will be half, and sin x will be minus half. Now again, going back to the question itself, for the first part, as you can see, x is only defined between 0 and pi, which is in the, if you look at this quadrants, 0, pi will be in the first and second quadrant. That is something we have to keep in mind when we are trying to find the values for x. Now let's do this one first. So this one, it is positive, as you can see, x will be sine inverse of half. That will be pi by 6, which is 30 degrees. You can always use your calculator as well to find that. And then the other value will be, since it is sine, it will be, when sine is positive, it is in the first quadrant and in the second quadrant. So this here we have pi minus pi by 6. So the answer will be pi by 6, and then that will be 5 pi by 6. So this is your values for x for this one. How about this one? Let's check what happens. Sine inverse of 1, that is 90. So if you observe here, it is minus 1. So sine is negative in the third and the fourth quadrant. But since we only care about the first and second quadrant, so we don't need to worry about this one. We will just not take this into account, and you will have these two as your answer for part C. Now let's move on to question number 5. So here we have to solve the simultaneous equation again. So basically, let's find the values of x and y for these two equations. So let's first try to simplify this. So what can we see here? We have 3, 9, 2, 4, 3. So we know that 3 is 3 power 1. We know 9 is 3 power 2. But what is 2, 4, 3? Let's check. Is it 3 power 5? Yep, it is. So 2, 4, 3 is 3 power 5. So let's replace those values by the indices in this equation. So you have 3, 1x times 3, 2y minus 2, and 3, 5. So let's simplify. You will have 3, combine those two, become x plus 2y minus 2 is 3 power 5. Now cancel the base. You will have x plus 2y minus 2 is 5. X plus 2y is 7. That is my first equation. Now the question is, how do I know this? So to be honest, it is not natural instinct, so it's not very obvious. It is more by practice. From experience, you can see that we have 3 here, we have 9 here, so there should be something in relation to the first two numbers. So it is more by practice. You will realize this over time. If you do a lot of questions, you will also realize on what to do. So no big deal if you guys didn't figure this out. No big deal. It is just over practice. You guys will realize over time on what to do. Same thing here. If you observe here, we have 8. Now what is 8? 2 power 3. 2 is 2 power 1. 4 is 2 power 2. Root 2 is 2 power half. Now we can just replace the values in this equation. So let's continue that here. 8 is 2 power 3 multiplied by 2y minus half is 2x plus 1 over, that is 2 power 2 multiplied by 2 power half. Now let's simplify this to see what happens. So we have 2 here, 3, multiply become plus y minus half equal to 2x plus 1, divide become minus, that will be 2.5, because if you add those two, 2 plus half is 2.5, right? Now we can cancel the base because they're the same on both sides. You will have 2.5 plus y is 2x. 1 minus 2.5 will be minus 1.5. Okay, so what can we do now is we can send everything to one side. You will have, send everything here. So you have y equal to 2x minus 1.5 minus 2.5. Y will be 2x minus, should be minus 4, let's check. 2.5, yep, minus 4. This is my second equation. So as you can see now, we have two very simple equations that we can just solve for the values of x and y. So here we have y as subject. We place this y in this y. You have x plus 2, y is 2x, minus 4 is 7, x plus 4x minus 8 will be 7, 5x will be 15, x will be 3. Now y will be, replace here 2 times 3 minus 4, that will be 6 minus 4, that will be 2. That is your question number 5. Now let's move on to question number 6. So a 4-digit code is to be formed using 4 numbers from this list of numbers. Okay, so find how many different codes can be formed if there's no restriction. So pretty easy. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers. We need to use 4 numbers, so permitted 4. So 9, P4, that will be 3024. Otherwise, you can always use this method. For example, I need 4 numbers from those 9. So for the first one, I can choose any of them. So I'll have 9 choices. let's say I put 1. 1 is out. Now remaining I have 8 choices. Remove 2, for example. I have 7 choices and 6 choices. So if you multiply those numbers, it should give you the same answer. So 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 should be same value. So 2 ways of doing the same question. Now part B, only prime numbers are used. If you observe, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So prime numbers, we have 2 is prime, 3 is prime, 5, 7 is prime. So we have 4 prime numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many choices do we have? If you observe, we have only, from the 9 numbers, we have only 4 prime numbers, and we need to choose 4 numbers to form that code. So for the first choice, I can choose this, this, or this. So I have 4 choices. Let's say I choose 2. I have 3 choices. Let's say I choose 3. I have 2 choices, and then I have 1. So your answer is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That will be 24 as your answer. That will be part B of the question. So using logic step by step, as you can see, you could find the answer. Now for part C, 2 even numbers followed by 2 odd numbers. So we have again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So even numbers we have, these are the even numbers, and we have odd numbers here, as you can see. Okay, so again, make the 4 space. We need 2 even numbers are followed by 2 odd numbers, so we can only place the even numbers here and then followed by 2 odd numbers. So even, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 choices for the first one. Then I have 3 choices for the other even number. Now I have to follow by 2 odd numbers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 choices, right? And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 choices. So that will be my number of possibilities. That will be 240 as my answer. Now finally, part D, the code forms an even number. Okay, so again I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now to form an even number, it has to end with an even number. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 options of ending my number, so it can be an even number. So I have 4 spaces again. So to end, I have how many options? 1, 2, 3, 4 options. Let's say I choose 2, and the rest I can choose anything. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 options. Let's say I choose 1. 7 option. Let's say I choose 3, and then 6 options. Let's say I choose 4. Okay, so if you multiply, you will have your number of ways. That will be 1, 3, 4, 4 as your answer, forming an even number from those 4 numbers. Now let's move on to question number 7. A curve have equation y equal to x cos x, find dy by dx. So here we realize that x cos x is a product, so we have to use the product rule. That will be, we leave the first one by itself, then d by dx of this one will be minus sin x. Then we plus, leave the second one by itself, and then d by dx, the first one will be 1. Will be cos x minus x sin x for dy by dx. Now for part B, we have to find the equation of the normal to the curve at the point of x equal to pi, giving you an answer in this form. Now we have to understand what are we looking for exactly. Now going back to part 1, what is dy by dx? So if you have done many questions, you will know that dy by dx is actually what? The gradient of the tangent. Right, exactly. So now let's say we have a line here, okay, and we are trying to find the normal. So this line, let's say it is a tangent. Let's call this t as a tangent, okay? Now we're trying to find the equation of the normal. Normal is at right angle to the tangent. Let's call this n. Now you guys know, to find the equation of a line, we actually do need to first find the gradient of the line. So one thing we realize is that we have gradient of tangent. When you multiply by gradient of normal, it is going to be -1. That is something you have to know for AddMath. It is going to be coming up all the time. Okay. Now to find the gradient of normal, has to be this divided by gradient of tangent. But let's first find this value. So let's see, how can you find this? So we know that dy by dx is here, was found to be this value. Now x equal to pi, we can just replace that value in this. So let's use radians. Cos of pi minus pi sine of pi. That will be -1. So I know that gradient of tangent is -1 from this information. Now, from what you can see here, I conclude that gradient of normal has to be -1 divided by 1, which is -1. So that's something we have realized. Okay. Now, we know this point is x is equal to this. But what is the y point? We don't know. So we have to find the y point as well. Going back to the main question, we know y is equal to x cos x. So what is the y? That will be pi cos pi. Replace the x by pi, right? So pi cos pi. That will be, in terms of radians, it should be, from what you can see, okay, so cos of pi is -1 times pi will be minus pi. Okay, so the passing point is pi minus pi. Okay, so we have to use this and use the gradient of the normal to find the equation. So let's do that. So y minus pi over x minus pi will be -1 over 1, of course, which is this one. Now cross multiply, that become plus minus x plus pi. Y will be minus x, and this will be, when you send this over here, it will go away, +0. Now if you observe, it looks a lot like y equal to mx plus c, where m is -1 and c is 0, which is in this form. Okay, so that will be part B of the question. Now let's move on to part C of the question. So as you can see here, it is asking you to use your answer from part A to find the exact value of this. So pretty easy. So what do we know from part A? We know that dy by dx is going to be cos x minus x sin x. So something we know is that integration is the reverse process of differentiation. So what do I mean? I mean, if you were to integrate the value here, right, sin x, it is supposed to give you back the value of y, which is x cos x. Now we can break this down into pieces. If you look at this, there will be integration of cos x dx minus x sin x dx is x cos x. Right. So now what are we looking for? We are looking for this one, which is this one. So we have to make it become the subject of formula. So we send this over here, you will have integration of this by dx will be this integration minus x cos x. Now integrate this one. So this is the same because we are trying to find this one. The limits is pi by 6 and 0. So pi by 6 and 0. So pi by 6 and 0. That will be cos x dx minus x cos x. that will be between the limits of pi by 6 and 0. So 1 by 1. So this will become sin x minus pi so let's replace the value in. Why not? Let's do that. Or we can just do it at once, no worries. So that will be this and this. Okay, so let's bring it together. So you have sin x minus x cos x, and they have the same limits. So sine of pi by 6 minus pi by 6 cos pi by 6 minus sine of 0 minus 0, right? Because we have x here, 0 will be 0. Now this whole thing will be 0 anyways, right? Sine of 0 is 0. Now for this one you can simplify. Sine of 30 degrees will be half minus pi by 6, and that will be root 3 over 2. So your answer will be something, because you're looking for the exact value, we can try to factorize. Why not? Take down 2, half outside, you will have 1 minus root 3 pi over 6. That will be the exact value. But now if you want to simplify some more, you can always expand, simplify, but that should be the exact value of that integration. So the main point here is you have to know this. Using part A, integration is a reverse process of differentiation. So integration of this one will give you back y, and then you will have to make this become subject to find the value. So that's the main point here. That is question number 7. Okay, so let's move on to question number 8. So do not use a calculator in this question, so you have to show all the steps of your work, okay? So we have to use this to show this is true. Okay, so let's see how can that be done. So one by one. So let's first simplify this one. So we have log 2. So let's send this one over here. You will have log 2 y plus 1. That will become plus 2 log 2x is 3. Simplify, you have log 2 x plus 1 plus, that will be log 2. Now we can send this up here, become x power 2. Now simplify, that will become log 2. That will be x, so y plus 1. Because we have plus here, we can combine them and multiply by the value here. That will become 3. Now we have to simplify again. We can send this over here. You will have this x squared is 2 power 3, which is 8. So y plus 1 x squared is equal to 8. That is my equation number 1. Now let's try to simplify this one. Here I have what? I have log 2 base of 2x plus 2. We can send this over here. We have minus log 2y is 2. Simplify, you will have log 2 x plus 2 minus become divide, become 2. Send this over here. You will have x plus 2 over y is 2 power 2, which is 4. Again, x plus 2, that will be 4y. My equation number 2. Okay, so now we can make so up to you. You can make x become formula, or you can make y become formula. So I will choose y because I have x squared here. I don't want to expand, so I have y here. Y will become x plus 2 over 4. So here we have x plus 2, which is y, right, over 4 plus 1. X squared is 8. Now let's simplify inside first. So that will be x plus 2. Here we have 1, but you have the base of 4. Let's make it become 4 together. So you have to multiply by 4 as well. So become 4. That will be x squared over 8. Now simplify. That will be x plus 6. X squared over 4 equal to 8. Now you can just cross multiply. You will have x cubed plus 6 x squared is equal to 32. Send this over here, become this. this n minus 32 equal to 0, and this is actually shown as required. So shown, that is part A. Now part B, we have to find the roots of this same equation. Now to find the roots, it is not too hard. Let's try. So you have to try. Only by trial you can find the roots. So first step is to let f of x equal to this and minus 32. Okay, so now to find the roots, we have to look at the number at the end. So here we have 32. What are the factors of 32? We know that 32 is 2 times what? Let's see, I'm not too sure. 16, okay, 2 times 16. I know it is 4 times 8. So let me try one by one. So let's say, for example, I have 2 here. Let me try, what is f of 2? Will give me, that will be 8 plus 6 times 4 minus 32. Let's see what do I get. 8 plus 6 times 4 minus 32. Oh, that will be 0, so that is perfect. So basically, I realized that when the value of x is 2, my f of x becomes 0, which means this is a solution for my equation. So this means if I send 2 over here, x minus 2 is a factor of my equation. So now if I know a factor, I can find the other roots pretty easily. So you can see here it is a cubic equation. We have to find the other factor by long division. So you have x power 3 plus 6x power 2. But now we don't have x, let's write we have 0x minus 32. We know the factor is x minus 2. Now one by one, how can you make x become x cubed? You have to multiply by x squared. That will become x squared minus 2x squared. So cube. So cancel out. So 6 minus 8 will be, so minus 2 will be 8. And then there's same. Now how can you make x become 8x squared? You have to multiply by 8x, right? That will be this one and minus 16x. Cancel out. 0 minus will be plus 16 minus 32. Now how can you make x become 16x? So multiply by 16. That will be 16x minus 32. That will be 0. So you realize that f of x is now what? It is x minus 2 multiplied by this one, which is x squared plus 8x plus 16. Okay, so this is the equation. Now we have to try to factorize this. So you have x minus 2, that will be x, this. Now 16, we know it is 2 times 8, but also it is 4 times 4. You put 4 here and 4 here. To get plus 8, we have to have plus 4 and plus 4. Of course, as you can see here, it is equating to 0. So equate to 0. So we know x has to be 2 and x has to be minus 4. So according to this equation. Now going back to part C, as you can see, give one reason why one root is valid solution. Only one is valid. So we have two solutions. X can be 2 and x can be minus 4. Okay, so why only one is valid? If you observe, so let's find the y value. So y should be this, right? So from part A, we know y is equal to x plus 2 over 4. So when x is 2, y is 1, right? When x is minus 4, y will be minus half. Okay, so anyways, those are the two set of solutions we have right now. Now, using those values, we have to see which one is valid or not. For example, so let's say we have the value of, if you look at the first equation, look at this one, right? The first one itself, right? We have x equal to 2 and x equal to minus 4. Now if you put this value here, look at this one, minus 4 in the first one, you have log 2y plus 1 equal to 3 minus 2 log of base 2, x is minus 4, right? But the thing is, logarithms cannot take a negative value. So as you can see here, that is why it will not be possible. We can only have positive value of x. So the only solution will be this one, because you would say logarithms cannot take negative values, or we can say it doesn't exist for negative values of x. Or you can mention that from equation, for example, from equation number 1, as I've shown you, you can show this equation. You can write the whole thing and show that here it is not valid. So by showing that as well, it proves that there's only one solution, and now the corresponding y value will be 1. So this one will be the valid set. Okay, so that will be your question number 8. Now let's move on to question number 9. So here what do we have? We have a rectangle ABCD, okay, representing a plot field where AB is 300, this is 300, A is 400, this is 400. Joseph needs to walk from A to D, okay, 2 pieces, A to C first and then C to D. Okay, no big deal. In the least time possible, he can walk at 0.9 meters on a plowed field and at 1.5 on any part of BCD. Okay, cool. Now what else? He walks from A to C, okay, and then from C to D. So basically A to C first and then from C to D. So first, this is the first part and second part. Distance BC is x, okay. So if this is x, what can I conclude? I can conclude that this will be what? This is 400, that should be 400 minus x, right? That is my conclusion based on that. Now what is this one, AC? If you observe, this is a rectangle. Because of that, this is 90, this is 90, 90 and 90. Now if you observe, we have triangle ABC is a right angle triangle, so we can find the length of AC by using the Pythagoras theorem. So which says, let me write this down here. So basically AC square will be x square plus 300 square. So AC will be, so what is 300 square? That will be 90,000 plus x square. That is AC. That is the length of AC. Okay, so that is something good to know. Now part A, we have to find in terms of x the total time for the journey. So as you can see, the journey is in 2 parts, A to C and C to D. This is root 90,000 plus x square. Meters, of course, it is in terms of meters. Now, we know speed is what? Is distance divided by time. So time will be distance divided by speed. So we have 2 parts AC. The distance divided by speed will be what? Distance is root of 90,000 plus x square divided by the speed of AC is, he walks on AC, so AC will be this one, plot field, 0.9. Now from C to D, again, distance divided by speed, distance is 400 minus x divided by speed is 1.5 given to us right here, right? Now the total time is adding those two, so this 90,000 plus x square over 0.9 plus 400 minus x over 1.5. Now you can always simplify, but you don't need to here. Doesn't tell you anything. That is t is this much seconds. This is your value of t. Okay, now let's go into part B. Given that x can vary, we have to find the value of x for which t is a minimum, and hence find the minimum value of t. So when does this happen? You know that this happens when dt by dx have to be 0. From part A, we know the t is equal to root of 90,000 plus x squared, right, divided by 0.9 plus 400 minus x over 1.5. So we have to find dt by dx. So we can simplify this to help you. So what is square root? It is, you know, it is power of half. So let's write this down in power of half. Now we can just put this in front as 1 over 9 as a multiple. Same thing here. Let's put this in front as 1 divided by 1.5 multiplied by 400 minus x. So d by dx of this term will be, so this is only a multiple, remain the same. And we have to first multiply by the power, right? And then the inside will be the same. Power minus 1 will be minus half. Then multiply by d by dx of the inside will give you 2x. Now same thing here. The multiple is only a multiple, same thing. And then this inside we have to differentiate. That will be 0 minus 1, right? So another way to look at this is we can expand this. So we have, this is a side note. So we have this, we can have 400 over 1.5 minus x over 1.5. Now d by dx of this term, this will be 0 and this will be minus 1 over 1.5. So that's the same logic here for my answer here, okay, this one. So simplify, you will have what? So this will cancel out. That will become x over 0.9. That will be 90,000 plus x squared power half, and then this will be minus 1 over 1.5. Okay, that will be a dt by dx. Now we know that we have to find the value of x at this equal to 0. So equal to 0. So how to solve for the value of x? Now step by step to see, let's see what happens. So first send this over here, you will have x over 0.9, 90,000 plus x squared power half equal to 1 over 1.5. So now we have to cross multiply. You will have 1.5x equal to 0.9 times 90,000 plus x squared power half. Okay, so what else can we do? So as you can see here, we have what? Here we have power half. Let's square both sides. Square both sides. You will have, what is 1.5 squared? 1.5 squared will be 2.25. That will be square. 0.9 squared will be 0.81, and this will become 90,000 plus x squared, because that will become 1, right? Now let's expand and simplify. So you have 2.25 squared, so 90,000 times 0.81, that will be 72900 plus 0.81 x squared. Now let's send everything, let's send this to one side. You will have what is 2.25 minus 0.81, that will be 1.44 x squared, that will be 72900. Now x squared will be 72900 divided by answer, that will be 5625. X will be square root of that should be 225. Now what is x? X is a length, so length cannot be negative, so we'll take the positive value. Now we know the value of x is 225 meters at the minimum point, so we have to find the value now. Okay, so let's replace that back into the value of t. T was found to be 90,000 plus x squared, which is this one, divided by 0.9 plus 400 minus 225 over 1.5. So 90,000 plus this square root divided by 0.9, that will be 416 2/3 for this one, plus this one. This one is 400 minus 225 divided by 1.5, that should be 116 2/3. So this plus the first answer, 416 2/3, that will give me 533.333. You can write up to three significant figures, which is 533, or you can write 533 1/3 as the exact value, that is seconds for time. That will be question number 9. So I think now we have to move on to question number 10. But let me find the list of formulas here, because we have to use that in this question, right? So let me see, where's the list? Okay, no big deal. Let me just grab this one. Okay. So here we have what? We have the sum of the first 4 terms of a arithmetic progression. Right, so as you can see here, we have this arithmetic progression. You can directly go to your page of formula. You can see arithmetic series. Let's write down these 2 formulas that we can use for this question. So we have the n term is given by a plus n minus 1 times d. And then the sum of the first n term is half times n times 2a plus n minus 1 times d. Now a is the first term and d is the common difference for arithmetic progression. Now the sum of the first 4 terms, so the sum of the first 4 term is given by 38. That's the first thing we know. And the sum of the next 4 term is given by 86. So of the next 4 term, it means that if you take the sum of the first 8 term minus the sum of the first 4 terms, you will get the sum of the next 4 terms. So which is equal to 86. So basically, sum of the first 8 term will be 86 plus sum of the first 4 term, that will be 86 plus 38. So that should be 124. Okay, so let's form 2 equations. So first equation will be this one. Sum of the first 4 term is this one. So here n is this. Replace here, you will have half times n will be 2. That will be 2a. And that will be 3d is 38. So 2a plus 3d will be divided by 2. That should be 19. But let's check. Always check, so just to confirm, so that is my first equation. Now from this one, same thing, we have s of the first 8 term will be 124, so that is n equal to 8. Replace back in your equation, you will have half times a will be 4, that will be 2a plus 8 times minus 1 will be 7, 7d will be 124. Now divide by 4 on both sides, you will have 2a plus 7d will be, so 124 divided by 4, that will be 31. That is my equation number 2. Here we have 2a, here we have 2a. We can replace, make this become subject. That will be 31 minus 7d. So 2a is 31 minus 7d plus 3d, that will be 19. 7, so minus 7 plus 3 will be minus 4. So 19 minus 31, that will be minus 12. So d will be 3, and 2a will be 31 minus 7 times 3, that will be 31 minus 21, that will be 10. So 2a will be 10, so a will be 5. Okay, so here we have the two values that we need. So the first term is 5 and the common difference is 3. That is part A of the question. Now let's move on to part B of the question. So the third term of a geometric progression. So whenever you see that, again, go back to your list of formula. You will see here we have geometric progression. So write down the formula that we need. So here we have the nth term is given by ARn minus 1, and the sum to infinity is given by A over 1 minus R, where R has to be less than 1. And also the sum of the first n term is given by A times 1 minus R power n over 1 minus R, where R is not equal to 1. Okay, so now we have all the formulas we need to solve the question. So the third term of the progression is 12, so we know that the u of 3 should be 12. So this is n is 12. So replace in here, you will have AR of 3 minus 1 is 2. That should be 12. That is my equation number 1. Okay, and the sixth term is minus 96. So u of 6 will be minus 96. So I know this is n equal to 6. Replace back in my formula, you will have AR power 6 minus 1 is 5. That will be this one. That is my equation number 2. Now I have to use these two to solve for the value of A and B. So what can I do here? So usually for this one, it is up to you. You can always solve by substitution, but I can also do this here. It is up to you. I can do 1 divided by, okay, I can do 2 divided by equation number 1. So you have AR power 5 over AR power 2. That will be minus 96 over 12. Okay, so that is one of the ways of doing that. You don't need to do it like this. There's many ways. Just like when you have two equations, you can always solve them by substitution. So making A become subject and then replacing, you can always do that. It is always going to be okay. Okay, this is one of the methods. So now I can simplify. AA goes away. This will go away. You have R power 3 will be what? Minus 96 divided by 12, that should be minus 8. So R is minus 2. From this, I can find the values. So R is 2, A will be what? 12 divided by 4. That should be 3. So realize A is 3 and R is minus 2. Question is to find the sum of the first 10 terms. So again, first 10 term, where we have to use this formula, first n term. Okay, that will be A is 3, 1 minus, that will be 2 power n is 10, and 1 minus 2. 3 times 1 minus 2 power 10, that should be positive. So because it is even here, it will become positive. Okay, minus 2 power 10. So 2 power 10 now become this. So the reason why it becomes positive inside because of the power. So when you have minus 2 power 2, it will be 4. When you have minus 2 power 3, it will be 8. Now if you observe, it can be confusing on the calculator. If you do this, minus 2 power 2, it will give you minus 4, but this is not true, because if you observe, what is minus 2 power 2? It is minus 2 times minus 2. Now as you guys know, minus become plus 4. Now again, what is minus 2 power 3? It should be minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2. 2 times 2 times 2, that will be 8. Minus times minus is plus, times minus will be minus. So that's the only thing you have to keep in mind. When the power is positive, it will give you a positive value for the inside. Now divide by 3. Cancel out, and that will be 1 minus 1024. That should be minus 1023. That is the sum of the first 10 terms of this progression. Now that is the question number 10. Let's move on to question number 11. That will be the last question of this paper. So we have to solve the quadratic equation, giving you answer in the form of this, where a and b are constant. So pretty easy. Again, we have to use our formula. This is a, b, and c. So we have to x is minus b, become 4 plus minus root of b square is 16 minus 4 times a, which is 7 minus 2 times c plus 2 divided by 2a, which is 2 root 7 minus 2. Now we can simplify this one here. If you observe, as a side note, when you have root 7 minus 2 times root 7 plus 2, it is the same as a minus b times a plus b. That will be a square minus b square, which is 7 minus 4, that will be 3. Now same thing, if you were to simplify, that will be 4 plus minus root 16 minus 4, this will become 3 divided by, so here we have 2 root 7 minus 2. Okay, so let's see what happens now. So we have 16 minus 9. 16 minus 9 will be root 7. Yeah, so 16 minus 9 will be root 7. So x is 4 plus minus, that will be 7 over 2 root, so times this minus 2. So let me double check, because I don't want to be making a mistake here. That will be fully done. So if I have, this will be, the formula is actually given to you. Let me check. Here you go. To use this formula to solve this question, when you have a quadratic equation, this is a, b, and c, x is minus b. So here we have what? So minus b will be 4 plus minus root of 4 square will be 16 minus 4 times a, this one, which is root 7 minus 2, and times c will be root 7 plus 2 divided by 2a, 2 times root 7 minus 2. So it seems to be okay. Let me just double check. So that'll be 4 plus minus 16 is 16 minus 4. This will become, as we have seen, it is 7 minus 4, that will be 3. Okay, so I see my mistake now. Pretty stupid mistake. 4 times 3 is actually 12, not 9. So this is pretty dumb here. You see, this is a dumb mistake. 16 minus 12 should be 4, not 7. Okay, so expand, you will have x will be 4 plus minus, that will be 2 over 2 root 7 minus 2. Now we can divide by, okay, we can simplify. You can see 2, that will become 2 plus minus 1. So the answer will be x can be 2 plus 1 over root 7 minus 2, or x can be 2 minus 1 over root 7 minus 2. So simplify, x can be 3 over root 7 minus 2, x can be 1 over root 7 minus 2. So now we have to simplify, because you want to be expressing this in this form. So we have to multiply top and bottom by their conjugate. So you can multiply by root 7 plus 2, root 7 plus 2 on both sides, top and on the bottom as well. Let's see what we get. So this is of course like this, and you will have what? 3 root 7 plus 6 over, this will give you, as you have seen from part 1, this should give you 3, so divide by 3. This will be root 7 plus 2 over 3. So as you can see, x can be 6 divided by 3 will be 2 plus 1 root 3, or can be 2 over 3 plus 1 over 3 root 7. This is root 7, this is root 7, not root 3. I don't know why I made those silly mistakes, but I can see that this is not 3, this is 7. Okay, so basically these will be answers in the form of a plus b, where a and b are constants. And that will be the last question of this paper. So I hope that was somewhat helpful. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.